When a big company pulls off a magnificent turnaround, you get a stock that can rally for years and years and years, while only taking the occasional breather. Consider the case of Newell Rubbermaid, NWL, the agglomeration of terrific brands in housewares, home furnishings, and office products. Think Rubbermaid plastic storage containers, Sharpie pens, Calphalon cookware, among many others. Here's a company that had been undermanaged for years, but way back in 2012, management rolled out a brilliant multi-year restructuring, what they call their growth game plan. And since then, Newell Rubbermaid stock, it's been unstoppable. It's given you a 187% return since CEO Michael Polk, the architect of this turnaround, took over back in July of 2011, far outpacing the 61% gain in the S&P during the same period. Now, the company just reported last Friday, delivering a 1-cent earnings beat off of a 61-cent basis, only slightly lighter than expected sales, but that's not what's important. The key here, in my view, management increased their core sales growth forecast for the rest of the year, and that's what all the big portfolio managers are looking for. That makes you think this stock has much more room to run. Now the company's really reaping the gains from its multi-year turnaround story. So let's take a closer look with Michael Polk. He is the president and CEO of Newell Rubbermaid, who orchestrated this comeback. Learn more about the quarter and his company's prospects. Mr. Polk, welcome to Mad Money.
Hey, Jim.
Good to see you, sir. It is an honor to have you. Have a seat.
Sure.
You have led, these are household brands, but you have reignited it. I thought of your company before you took over as a company that had good brands, and now I think of it as a technology company that is using old brands to reinvent.
I love every brand that I've had the opportunity to work on, Jim, and every brand has opportunity to grow. Growth's really the engine that powers us, and that's what we've been focused on the last number of years. How do you unlock the trapped capacity to grow these brands?
Okay, well, I used this recently. I actually, I had to fix something in my house, Elmer's glue. I had it around because you always have, everybody has Elmer's around. You buy Elmer's. I can't even imagine in my head what else Elmer's could be doing, but you've got ideas.
We've got a whole bevy of ideas. First of all, the team we're bringing in, we're delighted to have. They've got a whole bounty of ideas. They were owned by a smaller company than us. We have a lot more resource to be able to deploy against them. But we'll also apply the disciplined approach that we've built at Newell to innovation development and brand development. And I think together, both the folks from Elmer's and our team will collaborate to unlock upside potential in that brand.
Well, you have to be doing that because the gross margins keep increasing and you're accelerating your revenue and you're accelerating your core growth, of which most companies are really struggling with.
One of the things that we're most proud of is that we're accelerating growth, we're increasing investment in our brands while simultaneously building our margins. And that's a tough algorithm to be able to grow, step up investment, and develop your margins at the same time.
People have to know at home, I mean, this is the big issue with the drug companies. They're either cutting back R&D to be able to grow sales and then leaving them so there's nothing left in the later years, or they're boosting R&D and not producing new products. You're the opposite. So let's take this. This is the new Graco. When I look at this, I think, you know what? You guys are benefiting from a tailwind, which is new household formation, but also from safety and from really taking a market share away from a lot of other companies.
We've done really well on our car seat and baby gear business over the last 4 years. We had a little bit of a stumble at the beginning of last year, but the prior 2 years compounded 10% growth. And in the latest quarter, over 8% growth globally in our baby gear business. And so I always tell the team, the ideas need to trump the macros. You can't let headwinds get in the way.
The forest versus the map. Absolutely.
Exactly. So it's all about ideas, and it's all about creating commercial value from them. And our operating model does that. We've created these two focused capabilities, one focused on brand development and innovation, and one focused on commercialization and creating value from those ideas.
Well, it's really worked. Now, you've got a couple of brands that I think are synonymous. I remember when my at one point favorite player Terrell Owens, signed a football right on the sideline. And he didn't sign it with a pen. He signed it with a Sharpie. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have one that you put my name on. How did this become not just synonymous with pens, but a huge mind share? And can you possibly get it so that this kind of thing is blown out even further?
First of all, I mean, I think that brand is a great example to all of our employees on how to do brand building and brand development properly. This brand has over an 80 share of its segment of the writing market in the U.S. And it's the whole proposition is based on the functional performance of the product. All of these products are designed to perform better than their competitive set. Sharpie's been built through a clear positioning built around product performance.
All right, well, I say best for last. The innovations in Rubbermaid, as my wife said when I told her I was seeing you, we need all these. We don't see all these units at our stores, but this is a remarkable transformation. And it's killing everybody else, isn't it?
Well, I will tell you, this product, Freshworks, is just beginning to ship now. So this is a great innovation that's flowing through the market as we speak. We've had other innovations that have gone ahead of it, but Freshworks is unique in that it leverages a proprietary membrane filter technology that doesn't allow oxidation to happen in fruit and produce. So your produce will last 80% longer than it would otherwise last in its original container.
Major. Now, you have been at the forefront of something I know the millennials teach us, which is waste. You gotta stop waste. Somehow you figured out what they want, and you'll be able to take that runway for a very long time.
Look, I think surprisingly, I used to work in Europe, and in Europe tends to be further ahead of us in the U.S. But when I came back from Europe to the U.S., I was surprised how socially conscious people were becoming. We throw out as Americans 68 billion pounds of food a year, enough to fill the Empire State Building 91 times. And we throw out 37 billion pounds of produce. So this idea, which leverages the core framework of a food storage container, but brings added value functionality because it helps you save and preserve produce and leafy green vegetables for longer, is a huge step forward in value proposition that taps into building American social consciousness around doing the right thing every day.
Well, you've really figured it out, and this stock, I think, is just going to have, it's had multi-years, it's going to continue because of the work that you and your team are doing. That's Michael Polk, the president and CEO of Newell Rubbermaid. This one has been unstoppable. Whenever it's down, you've had to buy it. Mad Money will be back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.